Many visitors to Great Smoky Mountains National Park probably don't realize that many of the roads and trails they are driving or hiking on were once railroad bed during the pre-park logging years. The creation of the national park has an interesting and inconsistent history. Lumber companies came here at the turn of the 20th century and began clear-cutting the ancient old-growth forests of the Smoky Mountains. The ugly scars of clear-cut logging were widespread through the once pristine wilderness and were the main motivation for the national park movement. Ironically, in order to preserve these mountains for a national park, Colonel Townsend, owner of the Little River Lumber Company, only agreed to sell the land to the National Park Commission in 1926 with the stipulation that the logging could continue for the next 15 years. During the early logging years, William Walker refused to sell his land for large-scale logging operations in Walker Valley, now commonly referred to as Tremont, to Colonel Townsend. So the Little River Lumber Company moved their operations east to Elkmont. But in 1918, William Walker suffered a stroke and agreed to sell his lands to Colonel Townsend with the stipulation that the trees of Thunderhead Prong would be left uncut. 6 months later, William Walker died, and Colonel Townsend kept his word not to log Thunderhead Prong. But when Colonel Townsend died in 1935, the Little River Lumber Company broke that promise and Thunderhead Prong was logged out. The last tree fell in December 1938, 4 years after the establishment of the national park. Nature is resilient and has reclaimed the land that was less scarred and ugly. During our hike up Sam's Creek in Tremont, we find a few reminders of those logging days long ago. But for the most part, we just find a pristine forest that makes up the more than 800 square miles of Great Smoky Mountains National Park.
Very nice.
And here we are at Thunderhead Prong. You can see where the railroad tracks went across here on these foundations. We're going to head down the creek and cross down here. Well, we're actually found an old railroad grade, and the trail is actually pretty distinct for being on the side of the river. That's actually why we kind of decided to hike this today. We keep on stopping because this Sam's Creek is so scenic along the way that you just can't help but stop and pause and take it in.
There's something on that now. I have to drop my picture.
You get across? Here's our trail goes across here again, another wet creek crossing or a big leg stretch rock hop. But Mike rock hopped it.
Oh, there's right there.
I know, I would have just ran and jumped. I'm not going to run. Oh, he's going to do it. Oh! I'm not going to do that. Big old railroad spike.
I found one of these in Greenbrier once, and obviously my great uncle had brought it from Elkmont back to Greenbrier and used it to maybe chisel a tombstone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's come in handy.
Around the house. There was no trains in Greenbrier, so they just brought it back and used it.
This was a splash dam area. See where it was built up, and you can see the base of it right here along Sam's Creek. See right there? They filled that up with water, put the logs behind it, open it up, and there they go. Whew. Getting up here now. Nothing to it. Some old railroad tracks by the creek. Beautiful set, cascade. Nice. Well, now that we're at a safe distance, we walked right over top of him. There he is. Big fat timber rattler. He's all fat and happy though. He had lunch yesterday or something. He's still digesting something. Found an old fire pit with some cast iron cookware. Little stove up here. Getting pretty far up the mountain. Not a hard climb, but the trail is disappearing. Getting a little thick. Just glad we did it to mid-May, this hike, instead of later in June or July.
Joe, 5,000 Mountain Jedi points.
Yeah, there's the top of the stove, and Mike just says that if you find one of these right here, you get 5,000 Jedi points.
And this was canned beans in the old days.
Canned beans from 1934.
Sam's Creek Junkyard.
Sure is. Pretty cool. Yeah. Well, here we are. This is where we're going to end it. The climb. You point our stick up there, like that. And our climb would be 30 to 45 degree climb from here to the Appalachian Trail. But I'm not even sure how many miles we came up here, Mike.
I'd say we've already done about 5.5. So
yeah.
About 10, 11 by the time we get back down the hill.
I'll look at the map when we get back and see how far we went up here. But it was a good hike. This is
that's Jedi miles.
Yeah, Jedi miles, not your regular trail miles. So this is where we turn around, head back, go to town to get a burger. That was good.